So, okay. I've been telling you guys for, I don't know how long now. It's been a while. It's been a while. I've been saying this. I'm obsessed with like Marvel movies for some reason. They draw me in every time. And it's not like I'm like a fan of Marvel and I'm going to go to Comic-Con this year. It's not that. I'm obsessed with it because of all of the truth that's in it. So, I'll break down a couple of them that I could tell you that I've already said was happening and that we all say are happening. So I truly believe that Marvel is like basically, not that, here's the thing. I don't think there's somebody who's like, let's show them in a Marvel movie how stupid they are. I think that someone knows something and they use it in Marvel movies and it's like so popular because people know it's true, but everybody wants to deny the truth. So let's break down a couple of them. So you have the movie with Thanos, right? With the Avengers Endgame. And Thanos is this being in the universe that takes over the Infinity Stones. And now there's known to be these three crystal heads that only two of them were found. And if the three of them come together, it's supposed to be some power. And this is true. This is not just some made up stuff. And it's so powerful. These they're made of crystals. They're skull heads. If they come together, that this person will hold eternal power or whatever. But this is supposed to be real. This is not a story. And in Avengers Endgame, Thanos gets all the Infinity Stones. And when he does, his goal is to eliminate half of the population. Because he believes that the world would be a better place. The universe will be more organized and balanced. He's like basically the god of justice, right? I think Kranos is the name. And it's funny because I'll get to the new show that's on Disney that's also using the god of justice to justify whatever's going on. Now, so in Endgame, he doesn't try, he succeeds. He takes over the Infinity Stones, gets rid of half the population, and just randomly half of the population of people get selected and they die. And if you think about what's been going on lately with all the, stuff that's been going on and all the conspiracies about how the jab was made for depopulation control, it's population control, which in the Georgia Guidestones, first of all, it's clearly stated that we should keep it under 500 million people and that do not be a cancer on earth and that, to create balance and basically like we choose how many people are going to be here. So those Guidestones, they say were created by whoever created humanity here and that they're watching over us and they control the population. And you could think people are crazy. Oh, you're all crazy. No, we're not. We're not. So Thanos did that. And then you have the movie Doctor Strange, where he's a doctor. He breaks every bone in his body, right? It's all about the ego. And then he breaks every bone in his body. And once he breaks every bone in his body, he comes back and he ends up finding some Buddhist temple where all these magical Buddhists are, which they say there's Buddhists like that can make things move with sound, right? If they all come together and do Om, they can actually manipulate objects. And this is known to be real. They have actual footage of it. And so Doctor Strange goes into this temple and then he gets like the ancient master, the ancient wise woman, the master, teaches him how to heal himself, and he ends up getting in a car accident and breaks every bone in his body, and she teaches him how to heal himself, and he does. Completely heals broken bones, everything. And then she teaches him how to open up portals, control time and space, and then he can actually peer into the other dimensions. Like, this is the reality. That's not the reality. He's basically showing like the quote unquote what everybody knows, the Matrix. And then so, that tells you about time, space, and portals and all that stuff, which is happening. Then you have Black Widow. I'm only going to talk about the ones that I feel like are connecting to what I'm telling you. Black Widow is another Marvel movie. And she's this, Black Widow is this, they start the movie with all of these like butterfly effect stuff, Project Monarch, these little girls, a whole bunch of girls going missing, you know, the missing children thing. They mentioned that in the beginning, and like people are wondering where all these little girls going, you know. Obviously boys are missing too, but it's mostly girls. It is. And the guy's like, well, we have too much in this world of women, you know. So like, you know, the men that are controlling, they want to keep the women kept in control. This is what the whole movie's about. So it starts off with her being a little girl, and I don't want to ruin everything for you, but she starts off being a little girl, and then her and her sister are taken, but they've been trained their whole life. They were living with handlers from a young age. These handlers were training them to be like, you know, to know that you're gonna go train and fight for someone one day. And then when they got taken, they end up going to this camp where all these women are at, and they're all being trained to be killers. Honey traps, which are women who are sent to like presidents and stuff like that to sleep with them and gather information, intelligence, and then send it back to their countries. Initially spies, right? But they're all under this crazy mind control that they're so mind controlled that if they want to fight back, they can't, because there's something implanted into their brain that the person that, if they want to fight him back, they can't, because they're implanted with something that will make his pheromones control them. They can't. It's impossible for them to hit them or fight someone else. So they're like slaves to this person. And then he's like this mind control guy who's got a big eye in the sky. His office is in the sky, and he's the big eye in the sky. And what he does is he tracks all these kids, all these little girls that are lonely, that their parents don't want them, that they don't really have food in the house, you know, destitute women. And then he takes them all and he makes them his disciples, and he trains them to be his killers, essentially, to hurt people and to really go out there and like spy on other countries and stuff, and do all this stuff. And it's all about mind control and the Project Monarch. And these are real things that I've been talking about for like 10 years. But now, like, it comes out all in these movies. And so Black Widow ends up getting this, Black Widow's sister ends up getting this, like, red powder, which, like, takes them out of mind control. And she ends up figuring it out and gets the girls out of mind control. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, we've been controlled this whole time? Yes, they figure it out. Boom. Black Widow. Okay? Another Marvel movie that's proving us, like, oh, shit. And you could think it's just a coincidence. Really? Really? Anyway, so for those of you who think it's a coincidence, just move on. Go to the next video. And then we have the Eternals. Now, this is an interesting one, because I've been saying for years and years that there's a reptilian agenda. They're based on Earth. They're based in the universe. They're working out of the planets like the moon and other planets, and they come here every once in 1,000 years, and they create destruction on Earth. And in the Eternals, the Galactic Federation, which is the Eternals, right? They're all different humanoid alien entities with superpowers from different planets and different universes come together. i.e. the Galactic Federation come together to protect humanity. They watch over us, and they're not supposed to get involved. They follow the free will. These are the people you call angels, and they watch over us, and they're protecting us the whole time. And then they're living amongst us, the good guys and the so-called bad guys, reptilians and the Galactic Federation, like one representative from each federation watching over humanity to make sure everything's going well. And then they come together, boom, to stop these reptilian forces from infiltrating humanity. And those reptilian beings were becoming so powerful that they weren't able to die, like they weren't dying. So it became to that point where they sucked so much energy out of humanity that it was impossible to kill them. So that's what's been taking place lately, which is why so many people have, for the past 2-3 years, felt so drained and worn out and just could not fucking function. And they thought it was just a coincidence because of COVID, everything. No, it's not. We were having some strong reptilian agenda frequencies. And now all reptilians are bad, but the ones I'm talking about are the ones that are like sucking humanity dry of their energy. They live off and feed off of your energy. So anyway, that's what the Eternals is about. And they protect us and they watch over us. And I know because I've been a part of this Galactic Federation. I've communicated with them and they've told me this stuff many times. So then we have, oh, now there's a new show. It's called The Moon Knight. The Moon Knight. Now, if you look through my Instagram videos and you watch any of them, I wouldn't even know which one it is, but I'm talking about how now what's coming is the ancient Egyptian alien beings, which is ancient Samaria, right? The ancient Sumerians, the Anunnaki, Enki and Enlil, they base off Enki and Enlil, which were two brothers who came to the earth. This is a true story, I'm telling you right now. They came to earth to mine gold, and they didn't want to use their own people, so they created humans to do the work for them because they didn't want to kill their own people. So they created these like thoughtless, soulless humans to do the work. And then one of the brothers went against the other one, was like, this is not right. And his wife was like, we got to do something. Then they came in and they gave humans consciousness and like souls initially. And then they gave them like hearts and told them how to think. This is where the reptile comes in, like the wisdom giver. Like they whispered in the ear, hey, by the way, you're a slave. This is not right. And the human was like, oh my God, we're slaves. We're naked. This is bad, you know, and boom, like that's where consciousness came in, right? So in this movie, The Moon Knight, it's all about, it's in this TV series. It's on Disney Plus. This is also Marvel. Moon Knight, he's a regular person just going about his day. And then one day he has like this beetle, golden beetle type of thing, and it activates something inside of him, and he starts to host an ancient god, which is the moon god. The moon god was so you had one of the gods is the god of justice, and they're trying to bring her back. Somebody else trying to bring her back. Dig the grave, find the grave. And I said this in the video. What's next is they're going to go, these ancient Egyptian tombs and all that, they're not supposed to be open. That's why when Tutankhamun's tomb got open, a lot of people ended up dying. Like, watch the Tutankhamun documentary. All of these people, they just mysteriously died. The guy's fucking dog died too. People were just dying left and right. And people were like, well, they got sick. All right, the dog wasn't there. The dog was in the fucking house and he died too. And it was at the same time that the guy died. So you need to watch that documentary. It's wild. King Tutankhamun's tomb open. The Curse of Tutankhamun. Okay? You need to watch that. So in the Moon Knight, he's uncontrollably controlled by this being, by this god, the moon god. And then the other god, I can't remember the names, but go watch it. She's also she's the god of justice, and they're both gods of like justice, basically, the moon god and she is. But one of them judges people before they do evil. So she's like that type of god, like checks what you're doing, and if you even have a thought in the future of doing something evil, she immediately punishes you and like burns you, like you just disappear into dust. The other god is more like after you do evil. Like, he gives you a chance to like see if you'll actually do it, because we could have a thought and it doesn't have to go through. People think about killing someone all the time. But the point is, in the Moon Knight, it's about ancient gods, and they have this one scene where all of the gods are together. Hathor, Isis, Horus, Osiris, all of the gods are together in one space, and they're just sitting there. It's like, we watch over humanity. And then he's like, you're not supposed to do this. They all have avatars. All of them have a human avatar, which is why I tell people all the time, you ever feel like you're just like living for someone else? Yeah. So every Marvel movie ever or show, okay, is always telling. What about Loki, the series? It's all about time and space and all of these like time capsule like controllers. They like bring Loki in. It's like, you broke the time law. And it's like this liar who's like in a robotic body lying to people, telling them that they're breaking the time space continuum contracts or whatever it is, and that they need to be punished for them. And then they all discover that it's all bullshit and it's all created by someone and just controlling people, when time and space are an illusion and we should be able to travel through portals in time and space. But instead, it was 1515 right there. I just saw. But instead, we're all being controlled and told that, like, this is where we are. This is all we can do right here. I'm just telling you, I have been predicting all this shit and saying it, but that's not the point. The point is, every Marvel movie, TV show, series ever tells the truth about what's going on in the universe. Like, it's in plain sight. It's right here for you to see. It's time for you guys to wakey, eggs and no bakey, okay? Like, it's time. But I'm just telling you, like, isn't it fucking ironic? Isn't it weird? Like, everything I've been saying is just all in these shows, and I'm just like, I was just talking about this, but it's not the point. The point is, you need to watch these shows, and when you watch them, like, don't just watch them like, I'm a Marvel fan. No, you need to watch it with your third eye. Like, I knew that was happening. So anyway, just wanted to give you that information. Good morning.